be assembled part won't happen again. Anyway, let's go and read these reviews. So then, that's Umbrella. Anyway, welcome to episode 2 of the Who Corner. Yes, despite those bad reviews, we are still carrying on. We are going to be discussing episode 2 of the brand new series of Doctor Who, series 11, The Ghost Monument today, with my review of the story, and lots of other stuff too, which I'll run down in a minute, but mainly focusing on the Ghost Monument. So please sit down, grab your jumper we mug and your selection of poppets and your rare Doctor Who and the Daleks comic, and sit down and join me as I go over to the Who Corner. So please sit back and relax, and don't worry, we won't feature the to be assembled thing this week. Welcome to another edition of the Who Corner. Very nice to have your company today. It's week 2, which means it's the Ghost Monument. The Ghost Monument has just aired when I'm recording this, but this will be later. This will be Tuesday or Wednesday when you're watching this. So first off, thank you for all of you who watched the first episode of the Who Corner, and it took a lot more work than expected, even more work than I expected, but it was a lot of fun to do, and hopefully this week shall be just as fun. What can you expect though? Obviously my opinion of the Ghost Monument is to come. We've also got Who Will Help is back. And there's another edition of Games with Decool, and Decool shall be playing the yes or no game from my questions. Plus there's a preview for episode 3 of the brand new season, Rosa. So, what did I think of the Ghost Monument? So, episode 1, really liked episode 1. First off, let's have a look at these. These are the recipe of the week. They're a cake. This particular one's a bit flat, but they're quite nice cakes. You're probably jealous. Anyway, TARDIS cakes. Be warned, there will be spoilers. I do go off on tangents, don't I? Episode 1 was really good, really interesting, really unique. This episode, same thing. About on par in quality of The Woman Who Fell to Earth. If you didn't listen to my podcast last week at Doctor Who Time and Space, me and Decool, who pops up later on the show, you can find it at Podomatic at Doctor Who Time and Space. It's really, it was a really interesting review, if I say so myself. But on a rewatch, it's interesting to point out more of the flaws. I should really be doing this video a week later from when it airs, but because my opinions when this is released from my opinions when I'm talking now are probably completely different. So I really like this episode, really unique again. Looked spectacular, sounded spectacular once again. One of my highlights was Sagana Kanola's score. The 2 highlights of the episode were the same as last time, or 2 of the highlights. which are Jodie Whittaker, who's really great as the Doctor. She really nails it. I really do like her sort of reaction to when she when she sees that they probably won't be able to get home. I really like that scene. Yeah. She does showcase that emotion. She just wants to explore the universe, and now she's got a TARDIS. She can. The highlight of the entire episode, the best scene, was that ending. It's a real punch to the air moment. Gaining the TARDIS. The TARDIS looks really unique, really different. Wow, it's weird design. It really is a weird and wacky design. But I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm not 100% sure of what to make of the design as of yet. But I think I like it. Very different. Like to have the hourglass. That sort of it's an integral part of it. It was really interesting. It's a shame I saw leaked pictures of it. But designer Arwell Wynne-Jones was right. Those pictures didn't do it justice, and it looks much better in proper lighting. As I say, Sagana Kanola's score is absolutely spectacular. Jodie Whittaker is absolutely spectacular. Companion front, as I said last week, I think I picked up on this last week. Yasmin isn't the most developed of characters, and I don't think episode 2 developed her much more, to be honest. She's in it like 1 second more, but I just don't think we've seen Yasmin to her full potential yet, because she has a lot of potential as a companion. But because there's more companions than we're used to in New Who, it's a thing that happened a lot in Classic Who, the big assembled TARDIS teams. But because it's such a thing we're not really used to in New Who, I think she sort of gets shoved to the sidelines, which is a bit of a shame, and hopefully this will change in the next couple of episodes. There's the mention of her family, and in episode 4 of Arachnids in the UK, great title by the way, BBC, we're going to meet Yasmin's family, so that maybe we could get more development there. I think the strongest companion in this one was Graham, as played by Bradley Walsh. I think he showcased a lot of emotion. There's one scene where he's chatting with Ryan, which is really strong, and it brings that down-to-earthness to a planet that isn't Earth. And yeah, Ryan was again good in this story, still struggling with dyspraxia, and I think that's something that's been really well received, the whole dyspraxia thing. Epso and Angstrom, quite good for supportive cast members. Not brilliant, but quite good. There's a few silly moments in there, like the bit with the Call of Duty reference, and then it goes a bit manic where Tosin Cole starts shooting things, and that bit's a bit crap and cheesy. While the villains, terrible villains, they didn't need to be there. Just scrap the villains for this story if you're going to do it. There's no need for the villains. They're pointless, absolutely crap villains. They're called the Remnants. I don't care about them. Worse than Tim Shaw. But on the subject of Tim Shaw, we learn that the story is actually linked to episode 1. We learn that there is actually a story arc with like the Forgotten Child or something, which sounds completely Moffat-like. It sounds really Moffat-like, really story arc-like. So we'll get more developments on the story arc soon. Wouldn't it be great if it turned out to be Susan? That would be wicked. I have no idea what's going on in that side of things, but maybe I will have more theories when we get to learn a bit more about that. Yeah, so overall, quite a strong story. not quite strong, quite a good story, and continues quite a good and promising run with Series 11 so far. I think we should take a little break and see what's going on in Who Will Help, and I'll see you after that. Yeah, Gilbert. Okay, start recording. Please, Gilbert. You have already. Can we edit this out? No, we can't. It's already being screened. This is live. This is live. Okay, hello, this is live. Who are we? We are Who Will Help. And we will... That's what... No, who? That didn't work very well. Anyway, we are here to solve all of your Doctor Who related problems. We go to the fans, we go to the stars of the show, and we we solve people's problems. We ensure that they get the Who that they deserve. We've had a legal dispute with Peter Capaldi. He's taken us to court, and we've been forced to... He sued us. We've been forced to pay £6,000 towards him, which is a great shame, and that was after what happened previously. Oh, it seems like we have a call. Put them on. Hello there. I heard that I could come to you for my Doctor Who related problems. Anyway, I was told that you could solve my problem, so here we go. I'm just gonna fire with it, and then you can say whether you think it's stupid or not. But I just wanted to say that you know, we man, we okay, I'll just get it out now. I'll get it out. Sorry, my face just down there. I just want to get it out. Anyway, I'm gonna get it out now. So my problem, Who related, is that there's no returning monsters this series in Doctor Who, and I'm devastated by that, because I think there should be. And I'm sad that I haven't been in it since Series 6, so Palm Life, maybe, if you count that, but I'll stop meandering and say that I want returning villains from the Chibnall era, so I want you to give them to me now, please. I'm sorry, Gilbert, I don't have any... Oh, sorry, what was that? I said that I need to what you know what I mean, don't you? You know what I mean. No, I don't actually. Oh, like Christopher Chibnall. He said that he wanted to bring in no returning characters or monsters or nothing. So I was just wondering whether you could help me with my Who related problem, as your Who will help, and I was just wondering whether you could bring in some returning monsters for me, and maybe get me a job, because I'm unemployed at the moment. So yeah, that's basically it. So if you can help me, man, and make the U great again. What? So then, here we are in the whometer place. So a bit of a leap straight into the next item, really. I didn't do an intro. I'd already moved everything, and I couldn't be bothered to get up again. May sound lazy. Anyway, thank you, person who looks like me in Who Will Help. We'll have another instalment of that later. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If not, tough, you're going to get more of it later on. Anyway, let's choose our pen of the week from the John Pertwee mug, and we're gonna have the same pen as last week because it's the only one that works. Anyway, the whometer. It's crap because you can't see it and it's not held up properly. But here we go. It's like the new TARDIS. There's quite a lot of parts to it. And I've still got cake. And I like cake. So, making it more interesting with cake. For me. Not for you. Unless you have cake. If it's nice cake, share it to us. We'd like to see it. Anyway, here we have what I thought the episode. I rated last week's an 8, which was way too generous for me. I think it's nearer a 7 than an 8, last week's episode. But I tend to be more generous once I've watched the episode. So I'm going to change the colour of the whometer to a red. So I'm going to place them around the same level, I think. Because these two stories, they are roughly on par, I think. There's 2 spots here for episode 1 and 2, which are directly next to each other. Meanwhile, performance scale. Out of 10, Jodie Whittaker, again, really great. I'm going to rate her an 8. Bradley Walsh, really good in this episode, an 8. I think I'm gonna change that to a 7 from last week because, and I'm gonna change Tosin's to a 7 too. Mandeep, again, it's a 6. Tosin, again, it's a 7. So, who do I highlight? Who was the best performance? Has to be Jodie again. I said if it gets up to 5 and she's still on every one, I'm gonna just disqualify her for a week. So we'll have the best episode, best performance, and best guest star down there. I don't think we've seen any of those things apart from best performance because, well, it's going to be one of those people there. But hopefully we will do over the series. Yeah. So that's a whometer for this week. I think we should have it again next week. But for now, we should go over and see D Cool. Because D Cool's pretty cool, as his title tells us. And he's here for some more games with Dr. Cool. So, second edition of the Who Corner here, which means a second edition of games with D Cool, and in this case, the Yes or No game with Dr. Cool. Hello, Dr. Cool. Welcome to the Who Corner, if you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back.
Nice for you to be here today on the show.
I'm still buzzing after last week's victory over you in the Yes or No
I'm sure
game.
you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, today I am going to be... Well, you don't know if you're going to have victory. You may say yes or no.
I know, but I won last week. So.
True. Just to explain the rules here, Yes or No game is a game where today I'm going to be asking the questions for D Cool. The questions revolve around... Well, D Cool's got to try and give an answer that doesn't involve the words yes or no, and that includes yep, yes, nay, and nope.
And yeah.
And yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fire away, Mr. Moon.
Okay, so the questions are quite similar to the ones you compiled for me last week.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously we're in a new era of the show and it's week 2. I don't know, we're timey-wimey, so it's probably Rosa Parks or something this week. Are you excited for the Jodie Whittaker era?
I'm not quite sure what to expect, really. I was initially not very keen on the whole change of gender, but I've warmed to it over time.
Do you think you'll like Whittaker as a Doctor?
She seems to have a lot of different character. There feels to be something quirky about her, and that's quite an important thing in the Doctor, I think.
What's your favourite series of the show?
Probably could well be one of the John Pertwee series. Maybe John Pertwee's first or second series, or possibly Tom Baker's.
Will Jodie be able to compare to either John Pertwee or Tom Baker?
I don't believe that anyone will ever be able to compare with Tom Baker.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Are you sad that the Daleks will not make an appearance?
I think it's about time we had a break from the Daleks. It gets a bit cliched after a while, and they've lost their threat.
What monsters do you want to return?
I don't really want anything to return. I want it all to be fresh and new.
Do you think these monsters will in the near future?
I think probably over time, Chris Chibnall will believe that something new is needed, some sort of retro stuff is needed to excite the Who fans. But I don't believe it's going to happen in the short term.
Series 12 probably, or Series 13.
Possibly.
Why or why not? Do you think? Why do you think this won't happen?
I just think he's trying to keep it fresh, really. But I do think there will come a time where there'll be expectations from the Who fan base that they want to see some of the classic monsters, and things like the Daleks and the Master are never going to be out of it for too long. All the Sidemen.
Do you think Series 11 will be successful?
I think it'll be fresh and new. It's difficult. It will be successful in some quarters, I'd imagine, but there's quite a lot of people to win over, I think, with the whole gender change.
Okay. Well, that's the 10 questions.
Yes, I have one. I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think next week we should do another games with Decool. Whatever the games will be. Obviously, we're recording.
Can you take the pace of the yes or no game?
What do you think? Should we do a rematch next time, or should we do a different game? Something fresh or new. Obviously, we're recording in different districts of time than you're watching this, but something fresh or new is coming to your screens for episode 3 of the Who Corner.
Ooh.
I think we should go back to the studio with Lewis Moon. So then, thank you, Decool. He's taking a couple of week absence. I hope to see him again on this show. With the games, the first 2 weeks were pretty good. But if you want to see more Decool, and you haven't seen enough of him already, then please listen to our podcast at Doctor Time and Space at Podomatic. That would be excellent. I've already mentioned that, but I like to plug. So, let's go over once again and see what the Who Will Help peeps are up to. So you're saying this person called Christopher Chibnall. Who's Christopher Chibnall? Oh, Chris Chibnall, of course. Anyway, I don't know how to solve your problem. I can't force Christopher Chibnall into bringing back returning villains. I mean, the series has already started, for goodness sake. I mean, we've already got into a legal dispute with Peter Capaldi. Surely we don't need to get into a legal dispute with you. Well, I will get into a legal dispute if you want to. I don't mind. Wait, weren't you American a minute ago? I don't care what accent I say to you. I don't care what accent I gave to you. I really don't care. All I care about is that you lied to me. You said that I could... You said you could solve my problem. That's why I came to you, for goodness sake. You will all die. You will all face my wrath. I'm sorry I couldn't solve your problem. Bye. Hang up, Gilbert. Don't want to die, do we? Anyway, if you want your Doctor Who problem solved, because we will guarantee we will solve it, then go to Who Will Help. We are the best place to help. We will, that's what, no, who? Yes, we will. Okay, final part of the show is when we preview there's a broken pen stuck there. When we preview the next episode of the series, which will be Rosa. So the Doctor and her friends take their first trip to into history. Now they've gained their TARDIS back, and they arrive in Alabama, Montgomery, in 1955, and they discover a plot to unravel the course of history and meet a seamstress known as Rosa Parks. This is an episode that I have been worrying about because it is a subject matter that is worrying to cover because it's such a big subject matter, and there's two things it could be. It could either be really terribly done, three things: really terribly done, and they're gonna get in a lot of trouble if it's really terribly done, because it is such a big event and such an important one, and in terms of race and the change of sort of black rights. There's a trouble. It could be too PC, politically correct, but it is written by Mallory Blackman, and she is brilliant, and she is meant to be brilliant as a writer. And C is that it could be brilliant and really powerful. Vincent and the Doctor was really powerful, a really brilliant episode. I'm not sure what to expect with next week's episode, Rosa. We've seen like 2 10-second trailers. They're not much to go by. They pretty much showed us clips we'd seen already in previous trailers, plus a couple of other shots of Rosa Parks that we'd seen in promo images, but basically just her walking around and stuff like that. So not really anything new to get there. Rosa's a play on the title Rose, the opening episode of New Who, Series 1 with Christopher Eccleston. You can catch up on iPlayer if you're a new fan or haven't watched that story before. It's, not one I'm the most excited for. I'm more excited for the Arachnids in the UK, and I was being sarcastic earlier. Terrible title. But it sounds pretty cool. And, so Rosa, going in with modest hopes again, because I've gone into this week's episode with modest hopes, and last week's episode with modest hopes, and I've been mostly pleasantly surprised. They're both not perfect episodes. They're both, when we look at them in 10 years' time, say they're not going to be renowned as classics, they're not going to be brilliant, we're not going to think they're absolutely excellent. And people who say they are absolutely excellent and a 10 out of 10 are probably just thinking that because it's the most recent thing in their mind, and over time they won't think it's 10 out of 10. I've had experience of that. So I think I think a promising start to Series 11 so far. Hopefully Rosa can keep that up. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I will be back next week for episode 3 of the Who Corner, and I shall have my opinion on Rosa. Hopefully this got out to you well and pretty sharpish, or as sharpish as possible. Again, I'm going to plug Doctor Who Time and Space at Podomatic. Please check that out. I'm going to have episode 286 out soon, where me and Deacle review The Ghost Monument. He wasn't too positive about the first episode. I have no idea what he thinks again, but I'm hoping he will be slightly more positive. So yeah, next week, please stay tuned. We're also going to have another edition of Who Will Help. Plus, I've got another games solo, and we will be previewing Arachnids in the UK. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to finish my cake. Goodbye. Basically all this is, eating cake.